iDiski Times has got a WhatsApp channel. If you want to get breaking news stories immediately on your phone on WhatsApp, please click the link on the description to join the iDiski Times WhatsApp channel. iDiski TV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiski Times, CEO, Stellenbosch 0, Kaizer Chiefs 1 at the Athlone Stadium. Well done to the fans as well for coming in their full numbers. Difficult game to watch. You couldn't wait for it to end. Poor game of football. Lindo Pep, our analyst, what did you make of the game, sir?
Sharp kunjani thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ngibulisi just ngibulisi
Just,
chairman in a technical director.
Yes, sir.
Ngibulisi out here Mubobo and Shane. Tomorrow they're going to be at the stadium. All the best to them.
Yeah.
Congratulations as well to Amachit. I don't know if I should say congratulations, but they made it through to the AFCON under 17. Another technical team. Shiga.
But yeah, I mean, those are children, so we want them to play the tournament. I remember me and you were there to watch Amachita under 17 national team, and we were impressed with some of his few players. And I was worried when they were knocked out because it meant it's the end of the road for their AFCON journey. And I was thinking, damn, why can't you organize friendlies with other African teams in the meantime, just to make sure that this group keeps on playing with each other, because they're going to be the under 20. This under 17 is going to be the under 20 at some point. So even if you don't qualify, keep playing matches. So it's nice that they got that. It's not a backdoor because it's not.
There were 12 teams.
It's not only South Africa that's been allowed. It's Northern Africa, Southern Africa, East and West. They've been allowed one more team, and we were lucky enough that we were in the semi-finals, so we are the third team.
Very important to mention, because our junior national teams are very important.
Absolutely.
I think we all do this because we care very much about our junior national teams. We've got brothers, and we feel that something can be done with the resources that we have.
As a coach as well, it's very important. You're a young coach as well, so you're interested in the development of those kids.
For sure. But anyway, congratulations to Kaizer Chiefs. Congratulations to Coach Nabi for the result. In my opinion, not a good game to watch. Was not a tactical game, was a very physical game in my opinion. From a tactical perspective, you are watching for the game from a tactical perspective, Nkulego. It says a lot about the development, it says a lot about the scouting's 101. Some of those players genuinely feel like they don't deserve to be at this level. Angifuna ukuzala every week and criticize. But ucheka from a first touch level, Nkulego. Some of those players let themselves down. Talking about Upule Modi, the difference between him being a good player is his final product. From box to box, he looks convincing. But for me, I can only judge a player and a winger, more especially playing for Kaizer Chiefs, a final product, also nange decision making. It doesn't only help being good from box to box. You're looking at Umart, I think that's the biggest criticism that he gets, because no matter how energetic he looks, sometimes he plays passes that are too floppy in my opinion. Puts the team under pressure. Uqele, if ungamcheka naye, he's one that played with junior national teams. That's why it's very important. When he came to Kaizer Chiefs, we said he's probably the only one that deserves to be signed by Kaizer Chiefs based on the history of the player. But he comes into Kaizer Chiefs in his second game, he's playing very safe in my opinion. There's situations where Mela drive and he doesn't drive. There's situations where Mela sees the team go build up. Yes, he does, but to pass too much sideways. I think there's so many passes that he lost. You check Userino, he probably is the only one. He's the only one that looked like a threat, because check an cross that allowed Lilepo to score comes from him. He didn't get much of the ball because Stellenbosch made but close spaces that Gaston wants to play in. More especially Unduli. I think Unduli played exceptionally well. Then you look at Ule and Lilepo, he reminds me of typical Atazwane. Plays on the line, gets the ball, wants to dribble. One thing that I like from Lilepo is he doesn't receive the ball and looks to pass sideways. I think he says, look forward, look to attack your fullback. That's what he wants. Una Intoga one, which is a step over. He can run behind. From a tactical perspective and a technical perspective, he can always improve. But that's a very good header. Mocheka, Ilip, you check out the direction of where he sends the ball to. You look at the technique of the header. So there's so many things that we still need to see from Lilepo. But I think from what we've seen so far so good from him. You're looking at the back four. That's where the disadvantage is him in Kaizer Chiefs. That's why they're a team that concedes a lot of games. If we check out Coach Nabi and his style of playing, for me, it looked like a very open game, because from how they defended, Abo Ditloko is the only one that stays. We check with Reforce Lanai today, didn't go much. But Lai Center from a central position, I think they are too open. They can't communicate properly. I think it's a language barrier between Ututli, no, make girl. Because when you check them without the ball, they make too many mistakes about communicating and ball is along. They bal same time. Akna muntu o send the instruction oti, hey, relax, let's calm down and play. Even the message doesn't come from the goalkeeper. Can Vuma, no matter how well it does, can he improve his communication? Because with better communication, the better those defenders are not going to make mistakes. Because with the communication act, it's going to help. Because we was bona yonki game. You understand? Like I said, on the right hand side, I'm a winger waweko balanced. Maurice was on and off in my opinion. But now when you check his Stellenbosch, which is something that I'm very
they're incredibly disappointing.
Very disappointed by Steve Barker. Very because
I think one justification. Sorry to cut you. One justification he will have, and I don't agree with the justification, is the number of quality players is lost. And I think he and his assistant coach and his technical team will be of the opinion that they are building the season. They maybe are a top 8 team this season.
Yep.
And I think, I'm of the opinion when I look at those players, that he can extract more from it. We watched them against Chiefs. We watched them against Chiefs at FNB. We watched them against Orlando Pirates, a match that they did not win other than to score. Sometimes you can score and win on the final result, but they did not win that game. I said that at the time that they beat Pirates, that they did not win this game. They could be fools to think that they won that game. Football is not about looking at the final scoreline and thinking you won. They thought that they won that game. And they carried that attitude of playing big teams in the same fashion. I think his scapegoat, similar to Gavin Hunt, but maybe not that extreme, his scapegoat will be to say, I've lost so many of my quality players, I think I'm just rebuilding the season and I'm going into CAF as well. The counter to that argument is that he actually still does have decent attacking players that is sacrificing. Lokolwane, he's playing him on the left-hand side. He's not supposed to play him on the wide left-hand side. Upili as well, you made that observation that he should not be playing on the left-hand side. I don't know what is his best position. So some of his players are not playing in their best position. Even Andre de Jong is not a number 9. He's a number 10. He's a guy who feeds the striker. So there's a lot of things that are going wrong there. And I think the excuse will be that they're rebuilding.
Nkolego is back to his old self. Pragmatic coach. This season is showing the kind of coach that he's always been. It's just that obviously with the improvement of the technical team, with the improvement of the background stuff, I think he's improved the way he's trying to play and the profile and the personnel of the players. Yabo Jaden Adams, Abo Mloisane, those are ball-playing centre backs. There's one thing that you have to mention in the team when you watch them. From a technical perspective, they look very good.
They're well-trained.
They're well-trained. Ibola progress the play. But now we are speaking from a structural perspective, very pragmatic, lack of imagination. I think also they made a mistake by releasing certain players, more especially in crucial positions. I think Jaden Adams played a crucial role in the team. You can see Abo Mloisane, no matter how hard they are trying, it's really Aishangani. The support from midfield is deeper. You understand? And also, it's very important. The front three is letting them down. David Titus, Andre de Jong, even Upili is one with big potential. That kind of winger reminds me of so many wingers. About Junior Kanye, about Steve Likolia, about Cody Sang, I think currently who's playing. There's so many of that profile that are very direct, very dynamic, cause a threat, creates opportunities, goal scoring opportunities. But for me, today, that front three let them down. Because for me, lack of movement in the final third. Because Abonduli, they did their job in terms of without the ball. Immediately when they get the ball, they are too far away. The midfield is too far away from the front three. So for me, Coach Stevie Parker is going back to his old ways, which is very disappointing because this team, they have built it to be a very incredible team. You're looking at the backroom staff. It's not only the players. They've lost some analysts to Orlando Pirates as well. But from a technical perspective, they do look like a good team. But is there a team that can pose a threat to any other team now? I'm starting to have doubts.
They look like a top 8 team.
They genuinely look like
not a top 4 team anymore, top 8 team.
Yeah. Genuinely, they do look like a top 8 team, and they're very disappointing because for me, they look like they're grinding results. Same with what happened to Kaizer Chiefs. They were grinding results. Namhlanje bengicala ukubona management Kaizer Chiefs is this happy after getting.
That was such an overreaction.
That was really awkward. It felt really awkward.
Yeah, it was enabled by SuperSport.
Yeah, credit to the fans.
It was allowed by I want to finish this point. Okay. It was allowed by SuperSport that it's a league game. You got 3 points. Yes, it's a sold-out stadium. But the way, Jesus, you saw Kaizer Motaung Jr. lifting up like it's as if he's his heavyweight champion, trying to, like he's literally creating a moment that he can capture and put it on social media. Like it's like, this is my world champion. But you've just scored 1 goal against Stellenbosch, and the only thing you did was to just head that ball, which is good for the team. But that's not a cup final. That's not the Champions League. it looks awkward, and it is a serious indictment on how the standards have fallen, because that's the greatest club in this country's history. There is no mistake in my mind that that's the MVP of all brands in sport in this country. They are bigger than Bafana, than the Proteas. Maybe they are rivaled by the Springboks because the Springbok wins the World Cups. But Chiefs is an MVP brand, and for them, it is concerning for them to overreact to beating a Stellenbosch team in a league game on a Friday night away in Cape Town.
Kulego was disappointing, and that what should be disappointing. They are a team that create opportunities, but Maumova stats passes into the final third. I think it's about they got 70 out of 115. You check touches into the opposition box, less. You check chances created. I think they only created one clear opportunity. I think it's that only header that they created. For me, their game lacked imagination, they lacked control. Because for me, for them to actually see that they are moving in the right direction, they shouldn't be looking at the result. Grinding results is not what's important for Kaizer Chiefs. System wins football games, but also the profile of the players. For me, that's what's important for them. That is what they should be focusing on, not the result, because the result is fooling everyone. It seems like they played well, because also Nama fans, credit to Nama fans in Cape Town, they played a part. They genuinely made it feel like an event. But I do believe when they say people now are starting to overhype Coach Nabi, in my opinion. Because for me, he hasn't done really anything to Kaizer Chiefs. People are speaking about them creating opportunities, rightfully so. But a team needs control. A team needs to defend well.
Do you remember the first half when we were shooting the halftime videos? The only thing that happened there was the goal that Lilepo scored.
The whole game.
For both, I'm trying to rejig my memory to see whether or not even in the second half was there anything special. But the 45 minutes, the only thing that happened was Lilepo scoring. And I'm not criticizing Chiefs. It's both teams. It was a poor game from both teams. We didn't see anything. And the only thing that fooled people into thinking that this was a better game than it was the fact that there was a buzz there, because my city loves Kaizer Chiefs. You know, Cape Town loves Kaizer Chiefs, so there was a buzz there. But there was nothing that happened in this game from a quality perspective as well. Moving forward, do you see anything positive signs from the Chiefs? Because look at their results, and I keep on saying this when I describe them, that they're a mediocre team. They will win sometimes and lose sometimes and draw sometimes. They lost to Pirates, draw to Amazulu, win tonight. That's precisely a mediocre team. The fact that they are number 4 is an indictment on the league itself, that a team that's up and down so much can be number 4 at this point. Where do you see them going? Because I remember when I asked you about Nabi, you had no faith in him. Is that changing anytime soon?
No. Nkulego, this is probably the only game where I could feel the heat from the kitchen. Other than that, for me, in my opinion, the stove was off. The stove was off in my... This is the only game where you could feel that the heat is... And that is based on the fans. But Nkulego, for me, Coach Nabi needs someone to make him understand. He's used to Tanzanian football, where that league is probably not better than South African football. He went to Morocco. He never done anything as well. Someone needs to sit him down and tell him that South African people love football. We are a footballing nation. And here, results are probably not as important as in North Africa. For me, what is important is building a system, getting the right... It is no longer about the player at Kaizer Chiefs. It should be about the personnel. In my opinion, I still remain with my words that he's not going to improve the Kaizer Chiefs. He will not put the team or bring them closer to where the team is. For me, what he can improve is probably from a management perspective for them to stop being too involved, even allowing sponsors to stop coaching the team. Maybe that's the only thing he can improve. But around in where he's needed with his job, I think they won't improve from a playing perspective.
Right. There you are. Thank you very much, Lindo Pep. That was one of the longest games I've ever seen in my life, actually. The longest game... factually in South African football this season was a game between Magesi and Chippa United, because it started one day, it ended the next day. I watched it the next day at 12 at the Seshego Stadium. Factually, that was the longest game. Tonight, metaphorically, this was one of the longest games. 1, 2, 3 pass, they lose it, and then the other team 1, 2, 3 passes, they lose it, and then 1, 2, 3 passes, they lose it, and it went on and on. It's an interesting study even on the idea of how crowds can influence how the rest of us see something. Because if you muted the volume of your television and just watched it, you would have seen that minus the element of the crowd, this is a poor game of football. Hopefully those two teams will be improved. iDiskiTV, Times, or sports betting.